You are listening to the Will Power Podcast. Welcome to the show. I am Will Holdren, and I talk with some of the most influential CEOs, entrepreneurial leaders, and thought leaders to reveal the secrets that have led to their success. I believe that with the right knowledge and mindset, you can do anything you say your mind to. So if you want to learn how to change your life for the better, if you want to learn how millionaires actually became wealthy, or if you want to develop and start your own business from the ground up with the right knowledge to help you, then you are in the right place because this is the Willpower Podcast. How are we doing, everyone? My name is Will Holdren. I am the host of the Will Power Podcast. Today we have an incredible entrepreneur based out of the Delaware area, and his name is Mike Annone. And Mike actually played 5 years of professional baseball. And after that, he switched into entrepreneurship, and now he's a CEO and owner-operator of a company called Annone Capital. And within Annone Capital, they do contracting, they have full-time employees, they also do media marketing for companies, and they also do security for different types of events. So it's an absolute honor to have him on here today. So with that being said, Mike, first and foremost, thank you so much for joining me.
Will, appreciate the intro, man. That was really impressive. And I know we talked on the phone before prior, and I'm really looking forward to this podcast and interview, man.
Yeah.
Excited to come here as a representative of Delaware, man, and show what we've been doing, and really proud to show off our accomplishments so early in the company's history.
There you go. I love it. I love your story too. I just love interviewing young entrepreneurs going out there crushing. Obviously, you fit right into that category. So it's going to
Yeah.
be a cool story to kind of reveal for our listeners today. So starting out, I want to ask you a question I ask all of my guests, which is one, what makes you want to take time out of your busy day to hop on podcasts like these to go out there and share your story?
No, that's a great question, Will. And I think for me personally, it's kind of just to give back the knowledge I've been able to attain in my entrepreneurship journey to get back and to your viewers and your audience, if they could find something or learn something from the day that I take from my day to day, that's a win in my book. And be able to give back to everybody and try to help if they can, one piece of information could change their life or help their life out. That's what makes me want to hop on these and get after it.
Absolutely. Pass some knowledge around, helping others get to where they want to go. I love that. So talk me through your journey. What was your childhood like growing up? Were you always an entrepreneur or how did you kind of get that entrepreneurship bug started?
No, it's true. I've always been kind of like a self-made entrepreneurship person. Really wanted to go out and set a forefront and set that reputation as being like the at the a hard worker and work ethic and I was always big in sports, always big in the athletics. I played football, baseball growing up, mostly my two main ones. But yeah, I was able to play high school and then get to college and then be able to play professionally for 5 years and and that's where I transfer into the businesses. People understand like how hard I worked in baseball in that game, and they said when we need a paint job, we need a job done. We know it's going to be done right. Let's call Mike. Let's call Annone Capital. They know whatever we do, we're going to put our name on it. It's going to be a strong product that we put out and give our client, our customer, the best experience they can have.
Yeah.
And touching back on a young person, I was always in the game of trying to sell stuff, try to talk and try to like and build and being a leader too on my teams. That really was the same realm because they all kind of look up to you, and to have that knowledge and that wisdom as always being the player to work on your game. So I tell everybody, I said I shifted my game from playing baseball to now my sport is business. And the best part about business, it's the whole world, whole country, can participate. So it's a very competitive arena, and that's what I love doing the most is being competitive and putting a great product out there.
Yeah. I always love talking to people that have that athletic background that played sports throughout high school, college, and obviously you went to the next level with pros even. But to me, it's really interesting to kind of see how that relates to business because there's a lot of lessons you can learn within sports, whether it's discipline or whatever, commitment, and that you can transfer into the business. A lot of people I interview are big in sports world, growing up. So from your point of view, what would you say were some of the main lessons that you took away from, playing sports, professional baseball that you kind of see transferring over into the business world?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. And baseball, I've tell everybody that really hasn't played that much. I think baseball is a game of failures, right? It's honestly, I think one of the most hard sports that you could play physically and mentally. I mean, Major League Baseball is playing 162 games. When I was in the Pioneer League, we played 100 every day with an off day on Monday. Uh, so it's really a grueling sport. You're failing a lot. You're getting if you get three hits out of 3 times out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame, right? So I take that same mindset into the sports world and the business world because people don't understand, especially young entrepreneurs, man. You're going to take licks early. There's people in the business that have been in there for 20 plus years that know the game, have all the connections, and you're the young kid on the block trying to come up and make a name. It's very tough, but you got to keep pushing through the hard times. And that's why I tell everybody, I said the hard times, they don't last, but all you got to do is kind of pivot and turn and say, like, I'm one step closer. Say I
Right.
didn't land a job, I didn't do this, but there's going to be so many planes in the sky that you're going to land one. I just put a 30 unit apartment repaint bid in, waiting to hear back on that and waiting to hear on back on a bunch of jobs, but you have a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak. So
Right.
that's my goal, is to be able to, hey, if one doesn't work out, I got five more in place, you
Yeah,
know? And that's another thing about the entrepreneur. Like, your days like this, it's a roller coaster.
it
In the
really is. Yeah.
in the morning you're hearing crazy news, and then at night you could be the happiest guy in the game. So, and
Yeah.
that's what I said, you don't want to get too high, get too low. And that goes back to baseball too, man. Because when you're
Right.
on a roller coaster and you can't get out, but then next thing you know, you've been looking up, you haven't got a hit in a week. It's you start thinking. So,
Yeah.
but but that's my philosophy, is that you just got to stay in the fight.
No.
And
Yeah.
my 2025 my 2025 motto is, the only way you lose is if you quit.
Mm.
And I think that's why I tell myself every day is you got to keep staying in the fight and keep on winning.
Yeah, that's so true. I love that motto too, where you can't get too high, can't get too low. And to your point, that's exactly how entrepreneurship is. I mean, it's totally a roller coaster. And if you let yourself feel those emotions of one day you're on top of the world, next day someone tells you no on something, then you're down here. And then if you're not stable, I mean, you could end up quitting at that point. But like you mentioned, it's just taking it one day at a time, one note at a time, and trying to just make it to that next day and, keep pushing forward.
And Will, if I could bring up this point too, is I've been lucky with my dad. He's been a big part of my life, big part of sports growing up, big part of my business life. And I was able to connect with a lot of his friends and clientele, because he's got a lot of older business guys in the group. Like, we go out to dinner on Wednesday nights, and I pick their brain, because they're the guys that are going to give back and give me the information and help me grow my business. And they've been great too. And I've really been honored and blessed to be able to talk with them and kind of mold my business to what they've done, and how they treat their customers, how they treat their business and everything. And that's another aspect too,
Yeah.
is picking those older guys that have been in the game brain a little bit, and use that knowledge and pivot and to use it to my day-to-day operations.
Yeah, I think it's so good. And like you said, mentorship leaves clues. So, like you mentioned, find someone that's already done it and just follow them, ask them questions, and learn from them. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you try to go out there and do something.
Exactly. And going back, it's simple. Keep everything simple. We're not here like reinventing the wheel. You want to come back and just give them a great experience, great product, and tell their friends and connect and keep building that network by referral
Yeah.
too. Because we like to work with people we know and trust and like too. So
Yep.
it's that combination of being able to get the job done the right time and place, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Yep. And it's a snowball effect. I mean, it just takes time to grow. And that's really just the bottom line. I think a lot of young entrepreneurs that I know, at least, it's so easy to go to Instagram and see everyone driving around in a Lamborghini or the
Oh my,
Maserati, whatever that looks like.
yeah.
And you expect to get into entrepreneurship and get that a year down the road or 2 years down the road. But in reality, I mean, that's all fake stuff online. I think it's just that's not how it works. That's not how.
Well, if I could show you the day to day, like what I do in my business, because they say, oh, I'm the owner, founder of Annone Capital. I'm right there with everybody, man. Painting, cleaning up, running the vacuum, doing everything it takes. Because at the end of the day, you want to win. And if that goes into, like, not only handling the projects, but making sure from start to finish everything goes smooth, you really got to be hands on. And you see these people down wherever with the Lambos and the Ferraris, man. And like you said, it can get people discouraged, because it's like, yo, this guy's 25, so-called millionaire. Like, where's my Lambo? Where's his Lambo at? Where's mine at?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, Rome wasn't built overnight, and don't get attached to that social media life, because you really don't know what's real and fake.
Right. Yeah, you can't avoid the work. And I think a lot of people look at it, entrepreneurship looks so glamorous and it looks like it's fantastic to be an entrepreneur. But in reality, I mean, it is the most gritty thing you can possibly get into because you're in the trenches every day. It's your back against the wall. You're the one not getting a salary anymore. Now you're the one where you got to make money to survive and eat. And right,
Exactly.
it's a
Like,
different mindset. Yeah.
yeah, all my guys, they get paid regardless of what happens, on the job. But thankfully, we do great. But yeah, as a business owner, you're the one assuming all the risk. You get paid last. you have to deal with the client, you got to deal with everything going on, and and like the workers and stuff, they can show up and do the work, but at the end of the day, a lot of the business side, it can be tough, chasing down everything and getting all the areas finished to complete the job.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
that's again, that goes back to the mindset of an athlete is that there's no other way but to get it done,
Yeah.
but to get it done
Yeah.
and win.
Yep. So walk me through post your pro baseball career. What was that transition like after that? And is that when you decided to start up Annone Capital once you were done with pro baseball?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I got done at I finished playing professional baseball, like I retired in March of 2023. My agent Oscar Suarez, we were just talking. He's like, "Hey, we're getting older. Always wanted to always like, hey, just kind of want to shift focus, shift gears. Like you had a great run, nothing to be mad about." I've been able to play against a lot of big leaguers like Alec Boehm, Logan Gilbert, bunch of talented players. Lucky to have a lot of big league coaches too.
Yeah.
And my side and they were like, you know what? You have the talents. You have some degrees, like I said, you go out here and I've always wanted to start a business. I wanted to keep on pushing and say, take that new level that I've learned to heights in the business world. So that's when I retired in March and then I got my LLC at the end of April. And I wanted, like you said, going on the videos, I said, hey, I'm gonna take a shot at it because I work construction always in the off season for the 5 years for my dad's friend construction company that we do work with to this day. And it was a blessing for me to be able to work with him and learn a lot. And I was able to transfer those talents into Annone Capital, and the same thing with security. And in the off season, I worked with at my great friend's club up in New Jersey, Red's Beer Garden, and I was head of security there. And it was on Rutgers campus. We had guys like Isaiah Pacheco, Bo Melton, and we were able to and have a great security staff. And he ran the club. It was the most popular club on Rutgers campus. Like everybody has a blast to this day. So it was definitely an honor. But like you said, I was always hustling and always moving around.
Yeah.
And I took the same talents and social media too. And I said, I'm going to combine it in one business, one entity. And that's how Known Capital was born.
That's awesome. And I love that. And because you also have a story of transition, right? Where like something didn't pan out exactly how you wanted to, but you're able to rebound and take a pivot and still make it out on the other side. And I think a lot of people, they're scared to get into something and then have it not work out and have to transition so many years later. And it's just a scary mindset to get into. So I know like for you, you knew baseball for most of your life, right? And that's what your career was. So walk me through what was your mindset like when you knew you were done with baseball, you're transitioning. Was it a scary moment for you? And what was that transition like? Just starting up company, like literally a month later.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. It was like taking that leap of faith, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's like how are you going to get jobs? How are you going to name like but what I realized is I started with the Unknown Capital, got the LLC, got all legal and everything, and then a bunch of like the business owners were like, "Hey, I'm going to throw you some jobs. I love your story, what happened with the baseball career." And he said, "Hey, Peyton, like you can and you said you got experience and you can handle that. Let's see what you're made of." And it's the same thing. It's almost like getting thrown to the wolves and staying afloat.
Yeah.
It's like going in there and attacking the game. And I was lucky to have two workers that started out. I coached them at a Votech school in Delaware in the off season too. So they were my first two calls. Signed them up. I said, hey, we're going to see what we could do with this, and it's been a great success ever since.
Yeah.
Ever since. But
So
but
yeah. I was gonna say, so since you've started it, I mean, what has been the hardest part about running the business compared to what you thought it was going to be when you first started it?
Yeah, like you said earlier, like people see entrepreneurship, everybody sees the glory, right? They don't see like the behind the scenes, right? They don't see what's going on, like trying to make everything happen. Like you said, you might have three jobs going on at once and you need it done today, and you're trying to fill those crews up, you're trying to fill the roles, trying to meet demand. And and like you said, all angles of the business, like you're trying to work on the business, work in the business. And and those are kind of like the biggest goals. Like you want to scale to where you see yourself building an empire, but then again, like you're over here, and that's what goes in with building the brand too. Is that when they see the AC logo, they see that they're gonna get a great product, and they know it's gonna get done right.
Yeah.
But but it's a lot of unknowns in the entrepreneurship world, especially in the construction industry. A lot of unknowns. you
Yeah.
know, so you really gotta lock in and kind of take it day by day
Yeah.
because it really is it's job by job, day by day, and building it. And that's what no one sees. They see the outside finished product, but no one really sees what takes in to get there. You might have a guy call out on the big day, and then you got to come in and you got to cancel some meetings.
Yep.
It's a lot of shifting parts and moving parts that you got to wear a lot of hats for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's where I take it as a what's it called? As an advantage. Try to use that and pivot and go in there and use it to my advantage and succeed.
Yeah, no doubt. And like you mentioned, you have to wear all the hats starting out, the social media stuff. I mean, the finance stuff, you got to wear all that stuff if you're the
Oh,
CEO. Yeah.
like you said, you make the challenge because we also do social media too. And shout out my producer Melina, man. He absolutely kills it. We were in Times Square on Tuesday. We were doing promos for 2025
Wow.
for Annone Capital, doing some interviews and some and showing that we want to take Annone Capital to the next limit, the
Yeah.
next level.
That's
And
awesome.
we're excited and it's great too because connecting with all these business owners in the state, I'm lucky to talk with them and do some social media with them and do content and of some most of our videos of total we've gotten over 500 600,000 views now.
Yeah.
So, and
Amazing.
that's another point I like to help grow my business and a lot of entrepreneurs can learn. It's yeah, obviously you got to make money, but you want the attention on you. Attention's really the new currency. Like you said, obviously you need money and stuff to produce, but if you can get that attention on you, that's where the money's going to flow.
Yeah.
So that's my number one rule is that like, hey, in Delaware, it's really a small state and kind of like word of mouth spreads quick and you could show the videos and they'll be like, hey, I seen your videos. I'll be down the street. I walk into the gas station. Hey, your videos are great. It's almost like you're a local celebrity, but you're trying to give it back to the community. You're
Yeah.
trying to give back to the community and put awareness on everything to what there could be some hidden gems.
Yeah. No doubt. And like you mentioned, the landscape is changing for entrepreneurship and people really do care about the personal brand that you build and they see that. They see what you're all about. And that's what it comes from is those eyeballs on social media and all that stuff.
Exactly, Will, and that's what I have to say. This 2025 and beyond, it's your personal brand.
Yeah.
It's really like how you build your brand and how you portray yourself and what the levels are because it's really like big companies, businesses, you really want to be out there, especially in the entrepreneur world, is building that personal brand, connecting with people on social media. And I saw a lot of your videos and you're connecting like this is amazing, man. And
Yeah.
I wish a lot of younger people are following them same footsteps, man. It's really impressive.
Yeah. I appreciate that. It's all about relationships. It's really about who you know and, how you can keep moving forward. That's it.
Yeah, and that's another great point you brought up right there with the relationships over like the job or whatever you want to say. Because if you have relationships with guys that can make stuff happen, those are the relationships you want to nurture, you want to make better, and they're the ones that can help you connect with people. Like we connected through Will
Yep.
and Will. Like I said I saw Will's couple content reels. I said, man, I'd love to just chop it up, and now we're doing a podcast.
Right. It's just,
And
yeah.
it's crazy because we're nowhere near each other and everything, but we can connect and talk about we're in the same sphere.
Yeah, and 100%. And because of the internet, all that stuff is possible. And everyone growing up now, like you can get into this world as well. You can meet the people you want to meet. You just got to take that jump, reach out to that person through Instagram, whatever it is, just to get in contact with them and see how you can help them. Always extend that helping hand first. And if you help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. And that to me is just a golden rule right there. So,
Right, exactly. It's like that 50-50 split is like it's like, hey, we can help each other out and do this. And a lot of people I think too are young and they're worried about failing, right? They're
yeah,
worried about failures. But what I say with that is if say you go out, take a risk, and say you fail, you're right back at the same spot. You know what I mean? You're not really failing at all. You just haven't figured it out yet. And I think that's what entrepreneurship is victories built off
yeah,
failures, honestly.
yeah.
Because you figure it out, you fix it, and the best ones fix it the quickest and get it done right.
Yep. And like you mentioned, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're starting out, you got to be able to learn the process. Like you're not going to know everything out of the gate. Like you might know step one and two, but you're not going to know what step 48 looks like until you get through step one and two and all the way up through 48. And like we said before, like it's so easy to compare your journey, your story to someone who's in like a way further chapter down life. And you're just starting out in your chapter one, chapter two, but you can't avoid skipping or you can't skip those first couple of chapters in order to get there. You have to go through it, and it's just part of the process. So it just takes time.
Exactly. And it's a certainty of the unknown too. Like
Yeah.
you could come in the entrepreneur world, like someone could come to you and say, "Hey, I want you to paint my multi-million dollar high-rise building or paint a mansion." You don't know, or next thing you know, you're just painting a townhome. You got to be willing to be in the position to take on that work and be able to be at the right spot at the right time.
Yeah.
That's it's really where it comes down to. And then can you solve the problem? Can you do it well? And bigger the problem, bigger the paycheck.
Yeah. So in your guys' company, I mean, how do you go about finding customers? What's your customer acquisition strategy? Are you going out cold knocking on doors, or what does that look like?
Yeah, great question. We do pretty much all facets of the networking and referrals. Like you said, number one, we love working by referral. We love working with people we know, like, and trust and say, because based off that referral, like you're pretty much already building that rapport with your client. They might already have a background on you, knowledge on you. They know. But either way, like I've been times knocking on doors, calling, just selling a known capital. And that's my position, is that I'm not afraid to knock on doors, make calls, really just sell, because if you can get their attention within the first 3 seconds and they're willing to buy something off you, that's where you got them. So you'd be able to talk with conviction and purpose and say how you're going to get a great deal and a great job, what you're filling the need for. It's pretty much there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you gotta be willing to go out there and knock on doors and do whatever it takes to bring in customers. So that definitely makes sense. So for you personally, obviously you're doing Annone Capital, you guys are doing contracting, social media stuff, you're also doing security jobs as well. Looking into the future, I mean, what are your main goals you hope to accomplish here in next year or two, to help scale those companies and help grow it?
no, absolutely. For me personally, I want to scale and make a known capital contracting as big as it can get. We're in talks today of moving to more of a general contracting role, taking on bathroom renovations, kitchens, other rooms, sticking with the paint as well. Just really want to take it to the next level, because I really have a background in everything construction wise, and looking to really scale and get to that next level. And then for security, we want to start getting into stadiums, hopefully start getting into more private events, clubs. Have talks right now with some new club owners about getting our guys in there. Um, New Year's Eve, we had a well-known rapper that reached out to me, but there was two last second. But we're looking to work with him on private security, and
Oh
and
no.
then for social media is to keep getting with the businesses and scaling that as well. We have a couple of big restaurants in place uh, that we're looking forward to get on the books. Another huge company in the state of Delaware we're going to be doing some content for. So I mean, we're really really excited to take a known capital to the next level. And personally, for me, and I tell all my people within the company, is that I want the whole country to know who we are before this is done. And and that's really my thought process, is that the sky is really the limit. We're doing this already in year one, year two. It's going to be scary to see year five, year six.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And
Sounds like you guys are off to a crazy start in 2025. So that'd be cool to see how that pans out, how that plays out. But
no, I appreciate it, Will, man. I'm excited, man, and hopefully one day you get the Lambo Ferrari too.
right, right. It just comes along. Yeah. But yeah. But I've seen a lot of people as well where they do well in the business for a couple of years, and then they think they have enough to get the Lambo Ferrari, and then you make a couple of those financial decisions, man, and it all can come down really fast too. So you got to make sure you're in a financial situation. And to me, it's always like I want to make sure I can buy things out of my passive income. Like I think when you're at that point, then you can go out there and spend that fun money, go out there and do whatever you want to do with that kind of cash. But I've seen a lot of people just crash and burn before, like they're there halfway and then they just like
Yeah,
people make it all the way. So it's a scary
exactly.
situation, but
Exactly, because that's life too. Like you said, it's all ups and downs too. If you can manage like the downs and the highs and realize like, hey, you're killing it, but it's still not good enough, let's keep going. You always got to be ready to kind of like upgrade and exceed the limits, because and set the bar high, because
yeah,
you never know if you keep on breaking them. And like you said, with buying stuff off your passive income, like real estate, investing, crypto's big right now. Really, a lot of stuff that you can buy that's going to reinvest back into your life, into your company too.
yeah, yep, no doubt.
And that's
Before we run out of time, just got a couple more questions for you. One, for a lot of people listening to this, obviously they want to get started and maybe they're in the early steps of the business. But for you, obviously being more established with your company and everything that you've done, what would be your, top tip for success or top tip for encouragement to just to get started or become successful down the road?
Yeah, I think it starts with your image, right? You want to feel your best, look the best, hit the gym, work on your vocabulary, learn how to sell. Like that's number one. If you can't do sales, you won't have a heartbeat in business. Being able to sell on the spot, being able to talk to maybe random people, whoever, to talk to people that you got to be ready to have those conversations.
Yeah.
And I think that's number one too, is be able to have the confidence too. I think confidence in that ability to be in that room and not be afraid to make a name for yourself. But you want to make sure you're ready to present your best version of yourself to the world. And
Yeah.
that's, I think, number one in anything before getting into business, entrepreneurship. And because there's a lot of talented people, but they got to make sure they're ready. They got to keep building the blocks. And for me personally, with my baseball career and everything, I said, I'm going to take this shot. People know you, they like you, and they want you to work for them and accomplish the mission. And
Yeah.
don't be afraid to start small and build a rep and start somewhere. But as long as you're building and you're going somewhere, you're doing it for yourself and your name. I think that's the most impressive thing you could do in the American culture, and that's what capitalism is built on, is the
Right.
American. And when people start understanding capitalism more and how it works, I think people will be a lot happier, more successful, and really chase those profits over wages.
Right. Yeah. And that's the bottom line American dream right there. Like it's possible, just gotta go out there and do it. But I love what you were talking about being healthy and working out, because that to me is also so important for entrepreneurship, because you have to prove to yourself that you can be disciplined enough to go to the gym regularly,
Yes.
right? And eat healthy. And once you do that, I mean your confidence is gonna spike. You got higher confidence, you're gonna be a better business person. Like you said, you're gonna look better, people are gonna approach you differently. There's just so many positives to it. It's just a must. Like you just have to make time for the gym, to eat healthy, make time to just do all the right things. So I think I'm so glad you brought that up.
Totally will. And like you said, your diet and your exercise and getting after it. And that shows people you're committed to. You
Yeah.
know, they come out here, oh, this guy's in shape, this guy looks good, man. Like he's going to come through on whatever we're doing. There is a direct correlation, 100%.
Yep.
100%. And especially with your mindset, your mentals, and all that stuff, it's just a win-win. And that's a lot of people connect in the gym too, because that's where a lot of winners go to, trying to better themselves and better their lives, is the gym.
Yeah. No doubt. No
And
doubt.
people got to realize, keep it simple. Go to places that you connect with people that you can grow and meet people and uh and get into business and stuff like that too. And that's on the same path. You want to surround yourself with that group and mindset, and people realize that, like, you are who you surround yourself with. And
Yeah.
that's number one too.
Yep.
Like you said, like that's why I try to surround myself with the most successful people in this area that are on the same path, because
Yep.
you want to be right there with them.
Yep. No doubt. And like you said, you get better by surrounding yourself by better people. So that's it. So my last question before we hop off, is there anything else that you would like to say? And if people want to reach out to you to find you and your company, how can they go about and do that?
Absolutely. Our website's getting built right now, so it's going to be up and running next couple of weeks. But I'm on Instagram at Mike Annone. We also have YouTube, Annone Capital, building that as well. Uh, X is Mike Annone, my name. But I also have an Instagram, Annone Capital. We're looking to grow, but most of my content and everything is on my personal page. That's where we do all our social media content and stuff like that. But yeah, we're just trying to grow and scale, and we want to work with people that want to do the same. They said there's no information that we can't access, there's no room we can't get into, and that's what I tell all my workers and everything, is that we can go anywhere we want to go, no matter where. We can connect with people all across. I've been lucky to get connections all across the country, and lucky to have great people in my corner too. So I'm blessed with that stuff, and I want to keep on and going, and like you said, our slogan is creating a better community, and I think we're really doing that in this state, and I think we want to expand throughout the country.
Awesome. All right, guys, there you have it. Give him a follow on Instagram. Website's coming soon. And with that being said, Mike Annone, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having me, man. This was a blast chopping it up. Thank you, bro.